what if the secret to living longer isn't about doing more, not about running marathons, not about expensive supplements, but about doing less? Less rushing, less stressing, less of the tiny daily habits that quietly chip away at our health. You see, as we grow older, especially after 60 or 70, our bodies don't recover the way they used to. The little things, skipping a walk, staying glued to the couch, eating without thinking, they start stacking up, slowly, silently, until one day, the damage becomes visible in your joints, your heart, your mood, your memory. Doctors around the world are now warning these everyday habits, things most of us do without blinking, are the hidden reasons behind faster aging, disease, and declining energy. But here's the powerful truth. You have the power to undo the damage. You can press pause. You can rewind years of wear and tear, simply by letting go of what no longer serves you. In this video, we're revealing 10 everyday habits that science says are shortening your life. And every one of them is something you can start changing today. Stay with me, because habit number 10 is something so ordinary, so deeply ingrained, that most people do it multiple times a day without realizing the harm. Fixing that one habit alone may add years, not just to your life, but to your joy. So, if you're ready to feel lighter, clearer, and more alive with every passing year, let's begin this journey together. And before we dive in, drop a comment below and tell us, which habit do you think you need to let go of? And don't forget to subscribe for weekly health wisdom, backed by science and made just for you. Let's start with one of the most deceptively dangerous habits of modern life. And yet, it's something millions of people do every single day, especially in retirement. Habit number 1, sitting for hours without moving. You may think you've earned the right to rest, and you absolutely have. But here's what most people don't realize. Your body isn't built for stillness. It's built for motion. And the longer you stay seated, the more your health begins to unravel behind the scenes. Just 30 minutes of uninterrupted sitting can start to reduce blood flow to your legs. After 60 minutes, enzymes that break down fat in your bloodstream slow to a crawl. After 2 hours, insulin sensitivity begins to drop, and your risk for blood clots quietly starts to rise. Here's the chilling part. Doctors now call sitting the new smoking. It's been directly linked to higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, weakened leg muscles, and even early death. And the worst part? You may not feel any different until it's too late. Now ask yourself, how many hours did you sit today? Watching TV, eating meals, reading the paper, even watching this video? But this isn't about guilt. It's about awareness. Because the moment you know the truth, you gain the power to change your story. And you don't need a gym membership or a fancy treadmill to undo the damage. Doctors say even standing up every 30 minutes can dramatically reduce your risk. Stretch your legs. Walk to the kitchen. Do 5 arm circles. That tiny act tells your blood, your heart, and your brain, I'm still here. I'm still alive. So here's your first challenge. For the next 24 hours, set a timer for every 30 minutes. When it rings, just move. One step at a time. You're buying back your energy and maybe even your years. And if you think that's powerful, just wait until you hear habit number 2. It's something almost every senior does when they wake up, and it's quietly draining their brain. Let's talk about something that seems harmless, but may be affecting your memory, your mood, and even your mobility. Habit number 2, skipping hydration early in the day. Now, be honest, when you wake up, what's the first thing you reach for? Coffee? Your phone? The TV remote? If water isn't high on that list, your body may already be running on empty before the day even begins. See, after 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your body is mildly dehydrated. Your joints are dry, your brain is foggy, and your blood is just a little thicker, making your heart work harder. And here's the frightening part. Even 2% dehydration can impact your cognitive function. That's your memory, your focus, your coordination. For older adults, this can mean the difference between a clear morning and a stumble, a fall, a hospitalization. Doctors are now sounding the alarm. Chronic underhydration is one of the most overlooked causes of weakness and confusion in people over 70. And yet, it's so easily prevented. So here's what you do. Keep a glass of water by your bed. Before coffee, before breakfast, drink 8 to 12 ounces of plain water. Not juice, not tea, not soda, water. This simple ritual does more than quench thirst. It wakes up your entire body. It flushes your kidneys. It boosts your metabolism. It even helps regulate your blood pressure. And if you think water is boring, remember this. Every cell in your body is silently begging for it. Don't wait until you feel thirsty. That's already a warning sign. So, try this tomorrow morning. Just 1 cup. You may be shocked at how different your brain and body feel. And coming up next, habit number 3 is a trap almost everyone falls into, especially those who are health conscious. But this one mistake can secretly shorten your lifespan over time. Habit number 3, oversnacking on healthy, packaged foods. Now let me ask you this. When you reach for a snack, do you feel like you're making a smart choice? A protein bar labeled natural? A low-fat yogurt cup? A granola mix marked heart healthy? You're not alone. Supermarket shelves are filled with these foods, marketed as healthy, wholesome, doctor-approved. But here's the problem. Most of these so-called healthy snacks are nothing more than sugar traps dressed in wellness clothing. Habit number 3, oversnacking on healthy, packaged foods. And doctors are increasingly warning. This habit may silently be damaging your metabolism and reducing your life expectancy. Let's break this down. What many of these snacks have in common is a dangerous trifecta: added sugars, processed seed oils, and artificial additives. Even those protein bars, often packed with syrups, gums, emulsifiers, ingredients your 70-plus-year-old digestive system can't process the way it used to. And here's where it gets serious. Your blood sugar takes a hit. A quick spike, followed by a crash. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance, inflammation, and even heart strain. But it doesn't stop there. Studies now show that ultra-processed snack foods, even those labeled organic or low-carb, are linked to cognitive decline, muscle loss, and increased risk of early mortality in older adults. Why? Because they displace real whole foods that your body truly needs, especially as you age. Now, don't get me wrong. Snacking isn't the problem. It's what you're snacking on and how often. So, how do you turn this habit around? First, read your labels like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. If it has more than 5 ingredients or any you can't pronounce, it's not a snack. It's a science experiment. Second, replace packaged snacks with real, simple options. Think hard-boiled eggs, a handful of raw almonds, slices of apple with unsweetened nut butter, even a bit of cottage cheese with berries. These snacks stabilize blood sugar. They nourish your muscles, and they support your brain instead of overstimulating it with chemicals. And here's the best part. Over time, your cravings will change. Your taste buds will reset, and your body will begin to crave what it actually needs, not what it's been tricked into wanting. Now, imagine the difference. Clearer thinking, steadier energy, and a healthier body from the inside out. Coming up next is habit number 4, and it's one that might seem totally unrelated to longevity. But skipping it each day could quietly shave years off your life. It has to do with how you start your mornings and how long you spend doing absolutely nothing. Habit number 4, ignoring morning movement or stretching. What's the very first thing you do when you wake up? Check your phone? Head straight to the kitchen for coffee? Or maybe just sit there waiting for the energy to arrive? If your morning starts without movement, you're not just missing a chance to feel better today. You could be fast-tracking your body towards stiffness, weakness, and even shorter lifespan. Habit number 4, skipping morning movement or stretching. And according to doctors, this small habit could have big consequences for your health after 70. You see, our bodies are like machines, and the older they get, the more they need a gentle warm-up to run properly. Here's what most people don't know. The first 10 minutes after you wake up, that's prime time for circulation, joint lubrication, and muscle activation. Without it, your muscles stay tight, your joints remain stiff, and over time, this shrinks your range of motion, makes you more prone to falls, and accelerates frailty. In fact, studies show that seniors who do even 5 to 10 minutes of gentle movement each morning, stretching, light yoga, even walking in place, have better balance, stronger legs, and significantly lower risk of injury. And here's where the long-term impact really hits. Consistent morning movement is tied to better heart health, improved digestion, sharper thinking, and even better sleep at night. But more than that, there's a deeper truth. Starting your day with movement is a statement. It says, I'm still in charge of my body. I still have control. So what can you do right now? Start with something easy. While still in bed, point and flex your feet 10 times. Gently roll your shoulders. Then, once you're standing, do a few slow side bends, reach for the ceiling, rotate your hips. And here's the trick, pair with breath. Deep inhales, long, calming exhales. It doesn't just wake up your muscles, it resets your nervous system. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need fancy routines. You just need to move with intention. Over time, these few minutes in the morning could preserve your independence, keep your legs stronger, and add years of freedom to your life. And the best part? You'll feel the difference immediately. Your posture improves. Your joints loosen. Your mind becomes more alert. But sadly, most people won't do it. Why? Because they underestimate the power of small daily decisions. So I'll ask you again, how do you want to feel 5 years from now? Weak and reliant, or mobile and in charge? The choice is made in the quiet moments. And tomorrow morning it starts again. Coming up next, habit number 5 might seem like a modern convenience, but it's slowly draining your brain's sharpness, and it's sitting right in your lap. Habit number 5, too much screen time or passive media consumption. Let's be honest. How many hours a day do you spend sitting in front of a screen? Scrolling through your phone, flipping through TV channels, watching YouTube, or playing games on a tablet. It feels harmless, doesn't it? It feels like rest, like escape, like connection to the outside world. But here's what doctors are now warning. Too much screen time, especially passive screen time, is quietly shortening your life. Habit number 5 is one many seniors fall into without even realizing, and it's more dangerous than you think. Why? Because it doesn't just waste time, it changes your brain, and not in a good way. Research shows that excessive screen time is linked to cognitive decline, higher rates of depression, increased physical inactivity, and even a higher risk of Alzheimer's and heart disease. Think about it. When you're watching TV or endlessly scrolling, your brain isn't being challenged. Your body is still. Your eyes are strained. Your posture collapses. And even more concerning, your social connection slowly fades. Instead of real conversations, you're fed headlines, drama, noise. And here's the kicker. You're not actually relaxing. You're just distracting your mind while your health ticks downward. Now listen, there's nothing wrong with enjoying a show or watching an interesting video. But the danger is in the passivity. When screens become a replacement for movement, thought, creativity, and real connection, they start to rob your vitality. So what can you do? Doctors recommend this powerful shift. For every hour of screen time, spend at least 15 minutes doing something active or creative. That could be a walk outside, light stretching, journaling, reading a real book, talking to a friend, listening to music, and gently moving your body. Even coloring, gardening, or organizing a drawer counts. It wakes up your senses. It engages your brain. Here's a challenge that might surprise you. Try one full day without any screens. Just one. At the end of that day, notice how your brain feels. More clear, less foggy. Notice how your body feels. Less stiff, more open. Now imagine making that kind of clarity your new normal. Here's the truth. Screens aren't evil, but overdependence is. Especially as we age, every hour of our attention becomes precious. So choose where you put it. Don't let your strongest years be wasted passively staring at pixels. Use your time, use your energy, and protect your mind. And speaking of energy, habit number 6 is something you do multiple times a day without even thinking, but if you do too much of it, your organs start to pay the price. Habit number 8, bottling up stress and emotions. Let me ask you something most people never do. Where do you put your stress? Do you bury it behind a smile? Do you shrug it off and say, "I'm fine"? Do you tell yourself, "At my age, what's the point in complaining"? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, especially for those over 70. Many grew up in a generation that believed keeping emotions hidden was a form of strength. But doctors now know the truth. Bottled up emotions don't go away, they go inward, and they begin to affect your health, quietly but deeply. This is habit number 8, suppressing emotional stress. And it's one of the most overlooked habits linked to a shorter lifespan. Research from major medical journals has connected chronic emotional suppression to high blood pressure, digestive issues, weakened immunity, insomnia, and even an increased risk of stroke and heart attack. It turns out the body treats emotional wounds like physical injuries. If you never allow them to surface and heal, they fester. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline build up in your system. Your heart works harder. Your cells become inflamed. And over time, that internal pressure becomes a silent killer. But here's the good news. This habit is completely reversible. And it starts with one word: release. Release doesn't mean breakdown. It doesn't mean reliving every pain. It means giving yourself permission to be human. Talk to someone. Write a journal entry. Cry if you need to. Join a support group. Pray. Meditate. Or simply tell a trusted friend or family member, "I'm carrying more than I let on." And if you're someone who's been the strong one all your life, maybe this stage is your time to finally let go of that weight. Doctors emphasize that emotional resilience is not about avoiding stress. It's about moving it through your body, not letting it rot inside. And when you do, your breathing improves, your sleep deepens, your digestion calms, your heart finds its rhythm again. Because the less you suppress, the longer and more peacefully you live. Coming up next, habit number 9 exposes something most people over 70 do every day. Thinking it's smart, but doctors say it could be draining your energy and shortening your life expectancy. Habit number 9, overplanning and overthinking every little thing. Have you ever laid awake at night, your mind spinning with the tiniest details, wondering if you locked the door, if you remembered your next doctor's appointment, if you said the right thing to your grandchild last week? You're not alone. After decades of responsibility, planning becomes second nature. But here's the hard truth. There comes a point where too much thinking becomes a health hazard. This is habit number 9, overplanning and overthinking. And doctors say it's quietly stealing the one thing your body desperately needs to stay strong: mental rest. Let me explain. The brain is not designed to be in constant problem-solving mode. Yet, many seniors report feeling mentally exhausted, not from physical tasks, but from the weight of constant rumination. What if the medication runs out? What if my son forgets to call? What if my checkbook is off by $2? These little worries may seem harmless, but repeated daily, they trigger a low-grade stress loop that raises blood pressure, tightens muscles, and drains emotional energy. The result? You may feel fatigued but unable to sleep, wired but too anxious to enjoy the moment, active but never at peace. Doctors compare this to mental noise pollution, and just like secondhand smoke, it damages the body slowly but surely. So what's the solution? It's not about ignoring responsibilities. It's about setting mental boundaries. Try this. Limit planning time to 20 minutes a day. Write down what you can control and let the rest go. Meditate. Use checklists to offload memory tasks. And practice saying, "That's not mine to carry." Because believe it or not, freedom after 70 doesn't come from perfect control. It comes from knowing what's worth your attention and what's not. As one doctor said, "The healthiest seniors I see are the ones who stopped sweating the small stuff and started living in the now." So ask yourself, is all this overthinking making your life richer or just heavier? And stay with me, Because our final habit is something many people mistake for comfort, but it's actually accelerating aging faster than you think. Habit number 10, sitting still for most of the day. And here it is, habit number 10, the one that seems so innocent, so ordinary, and yet it's one of the most dangerous habits linked to early aging and chronic disease. Sitting still for most of the day. Now, let's be honest. After 70, rest is important. Comfort matters. Your body has earned every moment of ease. But there's a dangerous myth lurking here, that the less you move, the safer you are. Doctors are sounding the alarm. Long periods of inactivity are now considered the new smoking. Not because rest is bad, but because immobility causes muscles to atrophy, circulation to slow, and inflammation to rise. In fact, research shows that sitting for 8+ hours a day can double your risk of heart failure, even if you exercise occasionally. Your joints stiffen, your digestion weakens, your bones become fragile, your blood sugar spikes, and your balance, your lifeline against falls, gradually deteriorates. But here's the good news. You don't need a gym. You don't need special equipment. You just need movement. Get up and stretch every 30 minutes. Walk to the mailbox twice. March in place while the kettle boils. Practice slow squats while holding a chair. Dance to your favorite old tune for 3 minutes. Every single movement is a message to your body. We're not done yet. And science agrees. The more you move, the longer and better you live. So the next time your body whispers, "Stay still," answer back gently with a walk, a stretch, or a slow stand. Not as punishment, but as an act of love for the years you still have ahead. Let's take a deep breath and reflect. We've just uncovered 10 everyday habits that quietly chip away at our health. Habits that don't look dangerous, but science says they shorten our lives over time. From skipping sleep and ignoring stress, to overreading, underhydrating, and sitting still for hours. These patterns are common, but they're not permanent. And here's the truth no one tells us enough after 70. It's never too late to pivot, not with giant leaps, but with small, powerful shifts. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to begin. One glass of water, one mindful breath, one walk at a time. Because longevity isn't about chasing youth. It's about protecting what matters. Your clarity, your energy, your independence. So, which habit are you going to work on first? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if you found even one tip today that made you think, please tap the like button. It helps this video reach more people like you. Subscribe now for weekly health wisdom made just for our golden generation. Because your best years don't have to be behind you. They can be right here, right now, waiting for you to claim them.